Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching this. Um, and yeah, and I'll have to say it, happy Valentine's Day. Uh, Today's the day of hearts and roses and chocolates and everybody showing everybody their love, um, supposedly. But sometimes, oh my goodness. Sometimes you can feel a little bit left out if you're not quite feeling the love. And of course, I have a few things to say about that. On Sunday, I celebrated my 46th wedding anniversary. Yes, I've been married for 46 years. That's a long time with one person. That's a long time with your. So it's been mostly grand, but of course there were those times. As with everything in life, there are ups and downs, and it takes a little bit of work to get through things. So feeling the love, and as with anything else, that can ebb and flow. Sometimes on days, especially like today, when you're not feeling it, you're not feeling appreciated, loved. It can feel lonely. It can feel empty. Sorry. Uh, Sometimes you feel hurt by it. I remember early on in our marriage, I used to think, like, I used to think of these days like our anniversary and our Valentine's Day or things. I used to think of them in very romantic ways, like that, like these people would be whisked away on these romantic vacations, or rose petals strewn throughout the house, or beautiful, or sometimes you want beautiful gifts given to you. There are different things, that ways that we feel love expressed. But my husband, bless his little heart, is a great guy, but he is not a romantic, so he doesn't think of those things. And oftentimes I would come off of an anniversary or Valentine's Day feeling very hurt and sort of, I don't know, empty, like I wasn't appreciated. um But here's the secret. Here's what I figured out of all these years. The reason I wasn't feeling loved, if you want to equate that with love, was not because of him. It was because of me. I know. I know. You roll your eyes. It always starts with us, though. The truth is, if we're not feeling secure in love on the inside, um, we want someone else to make us feel that way, or happy, right? But it starts with us. It always starts with us. Um, the problem with this is that I wasn't communicating to him what I wanted or what I needed until sometimes after the fact, which always ends up in a little bit of a persnickety way, or an argument. Um, I just expected him to know what was in my mind, and that wasn't fair to him, and it wasn't fair to me. So, and that's true with you, with your significant other, with your friends, with your kids, with anyone else. If you're not telling people, if something leaves you feeling kind of flat, or even worse, dejected, um, it's important to do some inner work always, and decide what it is that we wanted, what it is it is exactly that we wanted, because sometimes we think we want one thing and it's really not that. um, and be able to communicate that with whomever it is, and communicate it in a positive way, not after the fact in an argument, because that's hard. It's hard to listen to someone it's hard to listen when both of you are a little bit upset. So I'm not saying we have to. So we all deserve to be treated the way we want. Deserve is a interesting word, um, but the first thing is that first we have to understand that how we feel about ourselves is not based on what on the outside world. And this is really important for our kids too. Um, so 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 be very clear about what you want. Um, if you and not everything's going to happen. Be very clear and be very clear about who the person you want it from is. Again, as I said, my husband is not a romantic. He it's just not in him. He has really really good qualities. That's not one of them. So if I want something him to do something that's a very romantic, I have to tell him about it ahead of time, and he'll do it. He'll do it. He'll do it to make me happy. But it's not something that he thinks of even after 46 years. So if we're not being clear about what we want or realistic, expectations, we talked about expectations before. Expectations are a double-edged sword. Um, and so instead of guessing how somebody else is going to somehow read your mind, tell them and don't rely on that to make you happy. So here are some questions you can ask yourself. I would suggest you journal about them, so that you can get clear on what you want and what you don't want. The first one is very simple. What makes you happy? And also add to that 10 reasons why you love yourself, because at least 10 reasons why you love yourself, because as I said, loving yourself comes first. Um, what does what does love look like to you? When you think of love, what does it look like? Does it look like it does in the movies? With these grand music in the background, these revelations, these beautiful romantic gestures, or is it him doing the laundry when, or him uh, supporting you when you need to be supported? Um, Another one is, where's your happy place? Because sometimes when you're feeling a little down, you could just go to your happy place in your mind. Your demeanor, your what you think, where you are at in life, um, colors your world. So if you're not feeling colorful, meditate about your happy place. And this is a little. What are the things that you really, truly, deeply, absolutely need in your life? This is good when it comes to love or when it comes to anything else. And when you figure these out, how can you relate that to the person that your significant other, your husband, your kids? How can you tell them what you need from them clearly, concisely, calmly? Because if you get those things down and you can come to this understanding, not that they won't be, not that they can always remember this, because life gets busy and what you need changes as you go on. Um, so, but having that clear, excuse me, having that clear in your mind and communicating it clearly with other people will absolutely empower you to feel better about yourself and realize. You could also ask them these questions, not that if they're so inclined. My glasses look crooked. If they're so inclined to answer, it's hard to get someone else to come onto your page when you just spring it on them. But in conversations, um, and lastly, always is, be kind to yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're sleeping, eating, nourishing yourself enough, and ban the negative self-talk. When you start to put yourself down, stop it right away. Have the referee call a foul. uh, that's it. Again, happy Valentine's Day. You are loved. And have a good one. I'd love to hear your comments. Don't If you have not yet signed up for next week's mini webinar on dealing with attitudes, testy tiny tyrants, testy teens, also adults. Do so. I will put the link in these comments. I hope in the comments. And until next week, ciao ciao. Have a great day. Have a great week. feeling loved.